Hello and welcome. 230 from Nepal. Now that's a very good effort from Nepal. Anybody who's a Nepal supporter and whatever the number that we could see in the stadium were all Nepalese fans. They must be delighted. If you're an Indian fan, you must be worried. The fielding, the bowling, the effort on the field, everything must have left you a little worried. Let me get expert opinion on this. Nepal very good, India not so.
Yeah, I'd be worried if I was India because this is probably the weakest team that we played in the competition. And I say this from experience that when you play the minnows, and I say that for lack of a better word, the juices don't flow at that same level when you play the top, no matter how much you try. And in the huddle and the coach gives you the pep talk and all, the energy is a little bit down. But we dropped 3 catches in the first 4 overs. Our fielding was horrible all through the match, even when we had our backs to the wall. Because when there were 154, 4, 5, and there's a little bit of panic. You could see the faces of the Indian players. They were a little bit worried. The smiles had gone off. Even then, the fielding just went downhill from there. We fielded terribly, just on the catching, the ground fielding, the backing up. The bowling was very shoddy because 1, it was Nepal. 2, it was not an easy flat wicket. The game we saw yesterday between Bangladesh and Afghanistan in Pakistan was a flat wicket. It looked like a cement marble. It wasn't that. The first ball Shami bowled at 139. It went on the 3rd bounce to the keeper. So which means there was, the bounce was variable. On that wicket, we have our 2 premier fast bowlers who had 6. We had Shardul could only bowl 4 overs. He going at 6. Your 2 main fast bowlers going at 4. Here is a sort of wicket, and the opposition where your fast bowler should be going at 2.2, 2.3. Your spinner should be, this is a wicket where Kohli could 10, 27, 3, 4. Only Jadeja was really good. If Jadeja wasn't good today, this could well be 280.
We started the show in the afternoon saying Nepal will probably get 150 odd, India will bomb home and all of that in a canter. All that has changed.
Yeah, that's the reason why sport is so intriguing, because that's how we saw it. We saw Nepal in the previous game. Their batting was abysmal, but they learned their lesson and they were aided. They were aided by very ordinary fielding, very benign bowling. It looked like. When I see Shami, the ball didn't swing as much. I thought in similar conditions, we saw Shami Afridi really swing the ball a lot more. Shami's swing today was nothing out of the ordinary. This was a new Kookaburra ball swinging. It was raining, 10 minutes before the game, so it was under cover till 1 hour before. There was moisture in the pitch. Had a terrible day on the field. India.
230 chase, it can be tricky. You once again lose a few, some rain comes in, something happens. You can't take this lightly. You go close the game and you've got to bat really well India from here on, because all of a sudden Nepal will believe if the weather helps, if something helps, a couple of early wickets and they're in the game.
Absolutely, and I think India would be worried right now, and then you're overly worried. Generally when you play these sort of teams, it's just like you do your job and you just go and have a nice solid game. Now everybody in the dressing room will be a little somber. There will be not so much of talk in the dressing room. Everybody will be left alone because there's a job to be done. Generally when you play these teams, it's just going through the motion. It's definitely not there at the back end.
Which Sharma pressure on?
Yeah, I think so. I think, and this is not the sort of wicket where a bowler should get you out. If you bowl good discipline, the wicket can get you out. So there are 2 types of 2 ways you can get out. One is the quality of the bowling, the skill set of the bowler. Sometimes on a wicket which is a little bit too pace, which it is, the bounces are very good. Even a decent ball or an okay ball can get you out. So Rohit will be worried, and I think in the previous game, we were 70 for 4. You don't want the 74 against this team with disqualification or not going through on the cards. So this game is far from over.
Yeah, and if Dapat Lewis comes in and all of a sudden you're 2 down or 3 down, with that asking rate little over, anything can happen. So if you're an Indian fan, fingers crossed, 230 is not a score that will sort of leave smiles on our faces. And what makes you think it? What went wrong? Because India is not that bad a fielding side. 3 catches dropped in the first 4.
I just thought the intensity was a bit low. I just felt that way. Even after the first drop, little smirk, like that. And sometimes it can happen. I have been guilty of the same thing when you play a lower team rank, whether it's state club, whatever. You sort of think that you just go over there and you go through the motion and you roll them over. Doesn't happen like that. And today was a prime example. Also, I think Nepal hit India unawares. There was a time they pulling for 6, cutting before. They didn't expect this because they saw a different Nepal against Pakistan in the previous game. They thought it's going to be similar. I think Pakistan bowling attack, the fast bowling attack is far better than India, especially with Bumrah not playing. Their fast bowling is far better. And can you imagine 270 against Australia, against Pakistan the other day, and we were saying now it's 230 that Nepal has got. So that game was wide open. I think India is still the favourites. I give it 75-25. But you don't want a 75-25 against Nepal. You want a 19-1 at the most. You want 100-0. So, all these matches, ultimately I look to the World Cup. These are all important.
And India is not picking the path. I mean, that's what my point is. So far, what we have seen, if someone says India are the favourites, come on, you're playing to the gallery. You want an Indian contract from an Indian television channel. That's why you're saying that. Hand on heart, India's not.
Yeah. So that is my point, because every Asia Cup or everything that happens, in the Asia Cup there is probably 1.5 good teams. In the World Cup there'll be 5.5, 6.5 good teams. So if you were to win the World Cup, I mean, forget qualify, win, pressure matches. First you have to qualify. And we know in 2011 that World Cup win was no walk in the park. There were time matches, we lost. A lot of things happened. At the end of the day, memory shots of 2011, now 2023, we feel, it must have been we wanted the catch, but we didn't. There were moments that even in the final, 20 for 2. But look at the depth of the day. I was having this chat with Trisha, and we were talking about, if you just name the 2011 one-to-one, if you name the players, I think they had more depth as in match winners on their own merit. Like today, if you look at this team, Shubman, 1 year old, 1.5 years old. That team had a lot more. There were people who could go and win their matches on their own. Pressure matches, where you have to win this game to qualify. You're back to the wall, like Virat has done, like Rohit has done. If Rohit and Virat have a good World Cup, we're off and running. Rohit and Virat also have to have a very good Asia Cup for us to win this.
Yeah, I mean, he's right. I mean, look at that England being Bengaluru. It was gone. Zahir Khan came back with that incredible spell and he managed a tie and he came out of jail. Think about it. India scored 330. We weren't able to defend in that Chinnaswamy wicket. Coming back to this particular game again, I mean, Mohammad Siraj. We have a lot of hope on Mohammad Siraj. Mohammad Siraj, Mohammad Shami, both of them very lackluster. Without Jasprit Bumrah, all of a sudden this attack looks toothless.
Yeah, I get this feeling that we are a little underprepared. I wish that going into a tournament like the Asia Cup, I just hope that we have played some really good opposition on such flat wickets, because then your bowlers get ready. We were in Ireland where you can just put the ball on the place. I think Shami hasn't played much. So I would have wanted these bowlers, and I speak and I read about many of the greats of Indian cricket talking about don't change the team too much, keep playing the same team, because they want continuity, because form is something that even the bowlers need. We always think form is with batters. The bowlers never get out of form. That's not true. If Shami hasn't played in the last 2 months, one day cricket on flat wickets, if these bowlers are bowling on bowling friendly wickets, suddenly you give them a wicket where your length is this short. On a helpful wicket, your good length becomes much longer because you can pitch the ball anywhere, balls jagging around, doing things. But as the wicket gets better, the good length becomes very small. So a little bit here is runs, a little bit here is runs. So you need the accuracy to be here. And they're clearly looking undercooked, underprepared for a tournament like this. Mohammad Siraj looked, he was bowling all over, he was half volley, short ball, leg stump, wide. Shami also as good as he is. He didn't look the part today. And
Saurabh Ghosh asks, yo-yo test destroying Indian cricket, no skilled players. Earlier when Saurabh was captain, many like Yuvraj, Zahir, Nehra and Sehwag. Thoughts?
No, I think all of them passing yo-yo test. See, the two ways of looking at it. It's a very good question. I know a lot of you spoke about yo-yo test. Yo-yo test is basically to have an idea that do you have the basic fitness or not. Now, 17.1 in yo-yo is what the pass mark is. Should be walk in the park for any international cricketer. If it is for state cricket also, in Bengal Ranji team, 17.1 is the pass mark. So when you say 17.1, now everybody is against the yo-yo, and I understand your question, but the skill set is always required. So we are not saying we don't need the skill set, we only need 17.1. We said of the 20 players who have the skill set, who has 17.1. So it's a given that you have the skill set. And along with that, if you can be 17.1, you'll be good. If you're 18.1, you'll be very good. If you're 19.1, you'll be Virat Kohli. And Virat Kohli is as good as he is because he's 19 in the yo-yo. So the 19 in the yo-yo is helping him to be the player he is. So yo-yo has a part to play. It's not all rubbish. But I don't think anybody in the team will say that, okay, just because you haven't passed the yo-yo test, we'll drop a Bumrah or we'll draw a Rohit. It won't happen. So it is a combination of your skill set and the fitness through which Indian cricket, sort of benefits from it.
World Cup selection tomorrow, the final 15, Nepal 230. Will this sort of play in the minds of the selectors? You reckon something might happen which we are not predicting?
No, I don't think so because it's one game. Number one. Number two is we didn't bowl against Pakistan, so we won't know. Bowlers have had one off day. Anybody can have one off day. If we had an off day against Pakistan, if we had bowled in that game, and again we had one today, but I can't think of anybody who is missing out who should be here. So I think it's a pretty simple one. I think 15 is way too short for a month and a half tournament. I think it should be a little bit more than 15. But I can't think of any player except Yajurendra Chahal. I can't think of any player who is not in this 15 who should have been there.
If you were in the Nepal camp now, Monty Desai, what would you tell the boys? Oh, come on, this could be the night Nepal cricket changes forever.
Yeah, that and just make sure that they win this game in the 48th over. Prolong this game as much as you can. Because the longer you prolong the game, the more chances of you winning the game is. Because they will come out, don't really get excited about you getting 230. Now go and do your job, bowl good areas, field well, and let's see if we can push India to 45 overs. If they go and win this game in the 46th over with 6 wickets down, we will have a victory.
Clearly, there's a lot to play for if you're a Nepal fan. Because look, your batters have done the job, and people say in pressure games, and now India is under pressure. You've got runs on the board, you've got the runs to play with. Still, if you're in the Indian camp, you've played 1 million matches between all of these guys, Rohit and Virat and whoever. What would you be thinking?
Boys, let's just get this done. Right now, the dressing room will be a very quiet place. The bowlers will be going and picking up their dinner plates, and the spoon will be very quietly kept. They'll be very, very somber. Nobody will be with the opening batters. They'll be left on their own. Somebody's probably getting a bit of a massage. Number 3 just getting loosening up. The keeper, he's probably getting a bit of a rub down, getting ready to bat. It's a very quiet place. If this was 150, 160, chatter going around. Because this is a walk in the park. This is not a walk in the park anymore. You got to go at this runs.
10-40, is that the correct approach, that you start slow, don't give wickets, maybe 40 of 10, 45 of 10, don't lose wickets and then pick up the pace, just because it's not the best wicket to bat on?
A and B, I think they also need the runs. We want the openers to get runs before getting into the playoffs. I say one is that you're not chasing 300, 320, so you don't have the pressure on the scoreboard on you. You can win this game in the 46th over. And secondly, you also need to get runs because you were 70 for 4 in the last game. And you'll be playing some very good teams going into the playoffs. So get some runs under your belt, win this game by 8 wickets, 9 wickets, that will be a statement.
Suppose Shreyas Iyer doesn't get runs today. Tomorrow's the selection. Surya Kumar Yadav breathing down. Ishan Kishan has scored. KL Rahul coming back. What does that tell you?
No, I think they'll give him the tournament. And then they'll decide on. They rate him very highly. I've spoken to some of the people who have not to do with Indian cricket. They feel that he's a long-term prospect. So I think they will give him this tournament. If that doesn't come through, they might change. But right now, I think he's the man.
So they will give him the World Cup as well?
I think so. I think they'll give him the Asia Cup for sure. But in the 11, he'll definitely be in the 15 in the World Cup. I don't know if he'll be in the 11 because if he's woefully out of form, it's a different question. Because he's also on a comeback train. And after an injury, it takes you a while to hit your straps. And it's just a question, you can't say when it'll happen. But we've seen sometimes the grades just come in the second game, they hit the straps, some have struggled. So along with it, although he's had a very, very good career so far, it'll be interesting to see how long he actually takes to get back to the sort of form that he's in. He's also an aggressive player, so he'll also give you a little bit of chance to the bowlers.
No left-arm fast bowler problem?
Yeah, I don't think there's anybody who's really fitting the bill at the moment. They've gone with different bowlers, Mohammad Shami, Mohammad Siraj, and Jasprit Bumrah picked themselves. They've gone with Prasidh Krishna because he's quick, he's tall, he's got a lot of bounce in it. That's the reason they've gone with him. The spinners, they've gone with 2 left-arm spinners because we probably want to sometimes play Akshar because of his batting also. And also in the last 1 year, Akshar has done really well with the bat also, along with ball. He's bailed India out a lot of times with bat and ball. You can't leave a player like him out. Although there are 2 of the same like together, Akshar and Jadeja. And Jadeja will always be the number 1 choice over there. So I just feel bad for Yajurendra Chahal because I have a feeling in the World Cup there could be a wicket where you want to play 2 seamers, Hardik, and then play your 3 spinners. That option is out.
Okay. Last couple of questions. As we near the start of the Indian innings, hopefully the rain will allow the match to go on. We'll get our reporters back from Kandy with the report at the end of the game. Plenty to discuss. But Nepal, 230, Sompal coming, good innings there. Asif Sheikh, a good 50, a fighting 50 after getting a couple of early chances. The two openers, Kushal Bhartel and Asif Sheikh, they got off to a flyer because India dropped 3 catches in the first 4 overs. Rohit Sharma looked quite displeased when Shreyas put it down, Kohli put it down, Ishan Kishan put it down. The captain took a smart one in the slips, and that was a good retort from Rohit Sharma, I thought. But as Joydipta said, quiet dressing room. India has to get the job done. Onus on captain Rohit Sharma to stand up and deliver, make a bit of a statement, get some confidence going. Last question. What is, according to you, come on, I mean, a bit of a prediction. India still definitely the side to win, but just that nagging doubt.
Yeah, for sure. India is the favorite going in, but it was 99-1 before the game. Right now, for me, it's, 85-15. Because 230 is not a walk in the park on this pitch. We've not been informed. We're 74-4 in the last game, and the pressure of not going through if you lose this game, that also matters. Suddenly you just feel the bat feels a little bit heavier, the legs feel a little bit tighter. It's happened to all of us who played the game. So I still feel India will win this, but I just want them to go and win this in 46, 47 overs and win by 6 wickets, 7 wickets. The more the merrier, the better. But at the end of the day, just get the job done. Today is the day. It's not a great day. Just get the job done and forget about it and start afresh the next day.
That's what it is about. Get the job done. Can India? Can India? We will get the answer in the next 3 hours or so. Join us for post-match reactions from Kandy, from our reporters. We'll get you what the fans are saying. And if something happens, trust you me, those Nepali fans will take over Kandy and make Palekile a sight. As an Indian fan, you don't even want to think what will happen if that goes on. And the Indian team is on a flight back tomorrow. What about the organizers? They'll start crying. What about the broadcaster? The broadcaster will have, a nightmare if that happens. So a lot at stake. Trust you me, a lot at stake. I, for one, had bought a ticket for India-Pakistan in 2007 in the World Cup and ended up watching Bangladesh play Ireland, right? So I know what it means and how much money was spent and all of that. So that's why it's sport. This is real, not real. There are no retakes. One edge and anything can happen. As Joydipta said, 85-15. If you're a Nepal fan, you've gone from 99-1 to 85-15. Be proud of your team. The team has done enough, at least in batting, to make you proud. Join us post-match. But till then, thank you very much for watching.